got mail.
Hello and welcome to
Go Touch Grass,
the podcast where we log in.
So you can log off.
And this is a very special episode.
Yes. So usually when we run a tight ship at Go Touch Grass.
Yeah,
especially
we do.
on the free feed.
Especially on the free feed.
Where we're trying to keep you updated.
Yes.
To everything that's going on in the internet.
Exactly.
And there's all these characters and all these topics that we can't dive into. So what do we say when we can't dive into it? We say put a pin in that discourse. We're going to put a pin. We're going to put a pin and we're going to visit it. We're going to revisit it.
Exactly. And we've been advised by podcast professionals that an hour and 15 minutes is pretty much the max before you start dropping off. So sometimes, we get into a topic and it's like that topic is an hour and 15 minutes
by itself. So we can't go deeper. We can't explain. We can't whatever. So we decided as a reward for our road to 100.
Yes. And thank you to everyone who rated and reviewed the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're at over 100 reviews on both.
Yeah, we're like at 131 on Spotify,
124 on Apple Podcasts. And you can always continue rating and reviewing.
We welcome it. We love it. But we said we got to give something back to our community. So we're unpinning some discourses.
And I do want to shout out friend of the pod, Tyler Chambers, who compiled a list of pinned discourses for us. Mm-hmm. We are unpinning 10 today.
Yes.
Millie will go through 5. I will go through 5. And if you're listening to this, it's been released for free on the Patreon in a video form. Mm-hmm. I do want to say, I just want to make like a personal disclaimer that I realized moments before we recorded that I forgot to wear my wedding ring. And I don't want anyone who is watching the video to read into that in any way.
The Elise fans, they're like, oh, she didn't wear
it. Danny stands. I don't want anyone. It's fine. Sometimes I just forget.
Yeah, you're taking a yoga class today.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's a hot yoga class.
To take it off anyway.
Yeah, so it happens sometimes.
Sometimes you just forget.
No, you're potting and you're like, I want the pod to Bodiverse to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, clue, something's going on. But with Kate Middleton, people clocked that she didn't have her wedding ring on in that fake picture.
Well,
and I'm like, damn, you photoshopped the whole picture and you couldn't even Photoshop in that ring.
Did she have her ring on when she did the video?
That I don't know.
Let's check. Well, let's put a pin in that discourse. I also realized that in me unpinning discourses, I found other discourses that I have to pin. Yeah. So we probably will do this again.
Yeah, exactly. These are not all the pinned discourses by any means. Other discourses are being pinned constantly. Every free feed episode, new discourses are pinned. Every Patreon episode, new discourses are pinned. So this is about a drop in the bucket of pinned discourses.
I feel like we should just get into it.
We should just get into it. Okay. So I've got the first one.
Okay.
The first discourse that we are unpinning for today: people finding rooms within rooms or strange objects in their home.
Yeah,
this is something I see on TikTok and just the internet in general often. The one that comes to mind for me that I tried to find, but I couldn't find because there are so many, was a girl who looked behind her mirror in her New York apartment and found another apartment.
And it was like a bathroom mirror too. Yes. It was like, so it was one of those.
It was scary. And then she found like an abandoned apartment behind the mirror of her apartment. And that one really stuck with me.
That one really stuck with me because what the fuck?
Yeah, she was like, the story was basically that she felt like there was a crazy breeze coming from behind her mirror. And it's one of those mirrors that's like stuck on the wall. Like I would not, my current mirror in my apartment, I would not think to unstick it from the wall.
No,
for
absolutely
any reason. Not. Luckily, the wall that's behind my bathroom mirror is it would lead to my bedroom. So
yeah,
I don't need to worry about that personally. But she was trying to figure out what was going on with the mirror. She took the mirror off. There's another apartment behind her apartment.
And that's especially creepy because in New York City, we're using those apartments. Like,
yeah, for there to be just an empty, full apartment. Now I have questions. Yeah. Now I need to know. My assumption is that someone's squatting there, someone's living there. I think she did find
like squatter stuff.
Yeah, she found like some evidence, like old water bottles. It wasn't like fully inhabited.
Yeah.
But there was evidence that a person had been there. And my question to you is like, okay, let's say you're locked in on the lease.
Yeah.
Though I do wonder if it's a violation of the lease for there to be a secret apartment through your window or through your mirror.
I mean, the thing is, like, is it a separate entrance?
Yeah.
Because if it's a separate entrance, then that's just you have a neighbor that has a whole, then that's like kind of harmless. But if it's like the entrance is through your apartment or they have access to your shit, that's crazy.
And can they see me?
And
well, that's what would scare me is that I'm like, okay, but does whoever's in there, could they just pop my mirror out and then crawl through my mirror, fucking Samara Ring style?
Yeah.
Could they Bloody Mary me and come through my mirror and whatever? I'm just imagining now, because the way that like my current landlord situation works is that you have to like go to this portal to put in a ticket anytime something's not working. Like our refrigerator was leaking, we had to put in a ticket. And I'm just trying to imagine like putting in the ticket.
Yeah,
like, hey, found other apartment through my mirror.
That's also like probably an option.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have a drop down thing that's like, is it a problem with your refrigerator? Da, da, da. And I'm like, is it another apartment?
There was one in the UK where this girl like saw something under her stairs and thought it was like, oh, like there's probably like storage that I can put under my staircase, a la Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And then
covered under the stairs.
Bitch, it was a whole fucking finished basement under the stairs.
Okay, so here when I was Googling, I Googled like woman finds secret room, and all of these articles came up. This is how people are finding secret rooms. So I screenshotted. This is a Newsweek article from January 10th, 2024. This is the one. This is the one you were just talking about. UK girl. Shock as woman finds secret basement as big as her apartment.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Next one, we got the Daily Mail. Our friends over at the Daily Mail. This one's from January 29th, 2023. Woman finds secret room in the basement of her 200-year-old apartment. This was a New York-based person. This one's from Unilad, which is different than other lad-based companies.
Ridiculous.
Woman warned after discovering secret room in creepy house. Okay, so that's a similar one. This is from House Beautiful. And this was from 7 days ago. Woman discovered secret apartment under her stairs.
Yeah.
Then there are Reddit discussions. OOP discovered his girlfriend has secret room in her house, is asking for advice. Woman finds tunnel system in crawl space of her home. NYC Tunnel system.
Okay.
So this is what makes me think, we've talked on the Patreon about Kala, the tunnel girl.
Yeah.
This is like an opposite Kala. Kala's trying to create tunnels in her home. Some people are finding tunnels.
She's not creating anything. Her house got condemned and she might go to jail or something.
Yeah, the work has been stopped. If you guys want an update on Kala, I have been keeping my eye on her. The work has been stopped. She's really trying to put a brave face on TikTok about the paperwork situation. She's like, see, I filed the paperwork. It's fine. And I'm like, Girl, it's not fine.
Yeah, girl, no one's going to approve.
Yeah.
Whatever. And go back to that podcast.
Go back to the Kala podcast.
With the Tunnel Girl.
The Tunnel Girl, and you can follow her. And she's trying to put a brave face on. And I appreciate the front that she's putting on about her tunnel.
Well, that's how we got onto secret rooms and tunnels.
Yeah, I think that is probably where this discourse was pinned from. And then the last one I find is, woman finds mysterious trap door in her new home.
Okay, trap door? Like, what is this? Like a Bond villain?
I know. That's the thing is I'm just like, I am not. If I am ever able to be a homeowner, I'm gonna say big if. Keep subscribing to the Patreon, guys. Please continue subscribing to the Patreon. Maybe one day.
The privilege of having a secret room.
Exactly. Exactly. Meanwhile, I'm like, can I live in that little room?
Yeah. No, when I saw the secret basement, I'm like, okay, sure, it's haunted, but also that shit is sick. I'd make a living space down there.
Yeah. Oh my God. if I found out that my apartment had a secret basement that was as big as my apartment, I would be like, oh, I can have a gym.
Yeah.
I was like, I can get one of those Peloton treads.
Okay. And that is why you need to subscribe to the Patreon. And that's why you need to
subscribe to the Patreon so that I can get a secret basement and put a Peloton treadmill in it.
All right, so Secret Rooms and Tunnels has been unpinned.
Unpinned. We've discussed it. We've discoursed on it. It's unpinned.
Yes. So now it is my turn to unpin a discourse.
Okay.
So during the Meek Mill, when Meek Mill was found in the Puff, it was implied that Meek Mill had sexual relations with Puff Daddy.
Yes, this was the week that he was our grasshole.
That he was our grasshole because he was spiraling, and he let people know that when he sees a woman and she's hot, he'll fuck her 5 times a day, which is not gay at all.
No, yeah, no.
He's so not gay, guys.
He's so not gay. He's so hard for girls.
He's so hard for girls. So in that, one of the people who was kind of sharing the details and just reading the lawsuit was DJ Academics.
Yes.
And Meek Mill started subtweeting DJ Academics. And I said, DJ Academics, put a pin in that discourse because, whew. And guess what? We're unpinning it today.
Wow. And I'm excited because DJ Academics is not a figure I'm hugely familiar with outside of our Meek Mill discussion.
Well, you're going to get familiar.
I'm about to get familiarized. Incredible.
Born Livingston Allen, which is the most Jamaican name anyone can have.
I was like, that's a strong name.
That's a Jamaican name. When there's a strong name like that, it's Jamaican.
Livingston.
Better known as DJ Academics or simply Academics, or also by his stage name Lil Ac, is a Jamaican-American podcaster, internet personality, and live streamer. DJ Academics rose to fame for his YouTube channel, which covered recent news in the music industry, primarily hip hop. So he's like a hip hop podcaster and live streamer. He later became the host of Everyday Struggle, a daily show by Complex Networks. And he also hosts his own show, Off the Record with DJ Academics, on Spotify. Now, he currently has 5 million followers on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Would love that. Road to 5 million.
We're on the road to 5 million. He has 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I'd
take that too.
Yeah. So again, it's kind of inspiring because you see him like he started at Rutgers, like in his like college radio stuff, and he just kept posting, and he like kind of whatever. So aside from regularly posting and growing his DJ Academics YouTube channel, Instagram account, and Twitter account, and also he has a Twitch and he's very popular on Twitch. From April 2017 to December 2020, DJ Academics co-hosted Everyday Struggle, with, like I said, a morning show for Complex magazine with Nadeska Alexis and Joe Budden. Put a pin in the Joe Budden discourse because that shit can literally be hour long or 80 episodes of Joe Budden. Really?
You'll have to do the Joe Budden series.
It's really crazy. So, at least you say you're not familiar with DJ Academics, but I'm going to put you, maybe you're familiar with this incident that kind of put him on the map.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Is he called DJ Academics like because his overall vibe is to kind of look at things with an intellectual bent, or is it just like that's a cool name that he came up with?
Well, it's Academics with 2 Ks.
Okay.
So, and you know what? Let's circle back after I go through everything, and I'll re-ask you that question.
Okay. You'll put it back on me.
I'll put it back on you. I'll let you come up with that.
Okay.
So you might remember this incident at the BET Awards pre-show in June 25th, 2017. DJ Academics and co-host Joe Budden and Nadeska interviewed Atlanta rap group Migos. And tensions rose when Joe Budden and late Migos member started going back and forth after Joe Budden questioned Takeoff's. Now Takeoff's dead, guys. R.I.P. Takeoff.
Yes.
But Joe Budden questioned Takeoff's absence in the Migos 2016 single Bad and Bougie. And this interaction spawned the viral meme. Does it look like I was left off Bad and Bougie? And Migos.
I have seen that.
Yeah. And the Migos stood up and they were almost going to fight Joe Budden. Remember, that's the whole clip.
I remember that meme.
So if you watch the whole meme, Joe Biden's interviewing Migos. They get really upset. The Migos stand up. They're about to fight. And there's one guy in the background whose eyes are shifting. Like, what the fuck is going on? That's DJ Academics.
Wow. Okay.
So the meme would later bring DJ Academics to a new level. Okay, so now we know who DJ Academics is. But the reason he's a controversial figure is that he's one of those hip hop journalists who has a record of intense misogyny and homophobia, which honestly is an overall critique of hip hop in general, but he is definitely someone who perpetuates it with his commentaries. So I'm going to go over his 3 biggest controversies. Okay.
I have a guess as to what one might be.
Okay, what is your guess?
That he said negative stuff about Megan Thee Stallion.
That is a good guess, and that is one of them. We'll get to that.
I'm like, oh, so he was a dick to Megan Thee Stallion?
Well, we'll get to that because before the Megan Thee Stallion beef, he had beef with Chrissy Teigen. Let's put a pin in Chrissy Teigen because that is also problematic.
That's another series. We got to do Joe Biden series. We got to do Chrissy Teigen series.
Okay, so in July 2020, he started insulting model Chrissy Teigen while live streaming on Twitch. So somehow Chrissy Teigen got brought up, and he goes, this is a quote, "One time Chrissy Teigen sneak dissed me, so fuck that hoe straight up. I don't care if you're John Legend's bitch or anyone else's bitch. How about you take that big ass mouth of yours and that fucking weird ass looking face and start buying your man's album. Chrissy Teigen can suck a dick and John Legend can suck a dick." Basically, and also like she talks a lot of shit, but her man is a flop. John Legend's a flop. He only sold 25,000. You know, he looks to look at the statistics of somebody's album being sold and consider them a flop or not.
That's very Nicki Minaj-esque because that's her
in the school of Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, being like, I have all these streams, and it's like, right, but are those people streaming because they liked what you're saying? Like what? Anyway. So,
after that Chrissy Teigen rant, he was suspended by Complex Media, which I'm like, to be so misogynistic, you get suspended by Complex, which is already whatever. And he got suspended by the Twitch platform for his rant for hate speech. So in his apology video, he said, "I definitely want to start off by kind of apologizing for some of the stuff that has been going on outside of the show. I think I definitely went over the line when I was addressing a few women, and I just felt like that wasn't even right. Even seeing the clip, it looks nasty." Academics said that in the apology video, but he notably didn't specifically say Chrissy Teigen's name in the apology.
Yeah, it is very funny to say like a few women because it's also like, no, we were talking about one. Who are the other ones?
Yeah.
And also to include kind of is so funny.
Well, okay. Another thing that you covered, that you guessed, was that he was, again, one of the many people were claiming that Megan Thee Stallion was a liar when it came to the Tory Lanez incident. In May 2022, DJ Academics used an outdated social media post of an LAPD police report and claimed that the singer had not been shot at all. Now, if you remember the story, Megan did not want to, like, the police, he didn't want him to get in trouble. It was like a weird incident. She didn't say anything. She didn't accuse him. When Tory Lanez started saying shit about Megan, that's when whatever. And later, as we all know, bullet fragments were discovered in Megan Thee Stallion's feet during surgery. So yeah, like, again, he posted that, like, there is no DNA evidence suggesting that Megan Thee Stallion even got shot at all. She's a liar. And then again, there's bullet fragments in her feet.
Yeah. How did that get there?
And he was just one of the people that was peddling that theory so much that Megan Thee Stallion had to issue this statement. It'd be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about. But this is my real life, and my real life hurt. And I'm real life hurt and traumatized. He never apologized to Megan Thee Stallion. Okay. And
not even kind of?
Not even kind of. Not even
wow,
kind of.
She couldn't even get a kind of?
She couldn't even get a kind of. And then finally, in November 2023, What was deemed some of the, quote, wildest beef in hip-hop history was between DJ Academics and gay rapper Saucy Santana, who is another Pinned Discourse, also problematic. His singles include Walk, Here We Go, and what you've probably known, Material Girl.
Yeah.
Material Girl, okay. So he's fun, flamboyant, and fiercely loyal. Santana started his career as the makeup artist for the female rap duo City Girls, who also equally...
I know, we're just pinning more. We're going to pin over 10 discourses during the pin. I know,
especially with the P. Diddy of it all now, because... I
didn't even say it. When you said his name, I said, we obviously have to put a pin
in P.
Diddy Discourse, wherever he may be.
Well...
where in the world?
It'll be jail soon, but anyway. But yeah, and I say P. Diddy because one of the City Girls was dating him or is dating. I don't know. Okay, but Santana started his career as a makeup artist, and that connection is where the beef comes from. So on one of his live streams, DJ Academic said that the City Girls are, quote, makeshift, chameleon, non-talented, lazy, non-passionate people who are, quote, the byproduct of good writers and good people that put an image around them, but they really don't do shit for themselves. Apparently, so I think like what started that rant or whatever was that the City Girls said, like, Young Miami, Carisha, the one that's dating P. Diddy, used a homophobic slur towards him, whatever, towards great. DJ Academics.
So everyone's behaving
badly. But then it gets messy because after that, Santana, who's a ride or die friend to the City Girl, stepped up online and told DJ Academics off in a series of video. In the verbal melee, Academics challenged Santana to come to his headquarters, LOL, presumably to fight, and gave out his address publicly and added, if there's Batiman vibes, it's going to be a movie. Batiman is a Jamaican slur for a gay man. And Jamaicans are very known, like, it's kind of really integrated in Jamaican culture, like deep homophobia. It's really bad. So he also said, no Batiman like blank Saucy Santana can talk to me. So again, he's openly being homophobic while hiding behind like, it's my culture, I'm Jamaican. So Santana, for his part, refused to go to DJ Academic's headquarters and said, I'm not going to your corporate office. If you want to fight me, come meet me in the streets. And Santana, you know, might be gay and flamboyant, but he's a big dude and he will fight and he was going to fight. And he said he's actually ready to throw down. Santana was also problematic because he says, after I beat your ass, I'm going to also top you, but you know, not after I beat your ass, I will fuck you in the ass, which again, not great. We have to pin that.
Yeah, I'm just like, all of these people, their level of homophobia is so closeted, coded to me, where it's just, again, the meek male thing of like, no, like if I see a girl, like I want to fuck her 5 times. I love girls. I love tits and I love pussy. And it's like, okay, cool.
I mean, again, this is like an overall critique of the hip hop community and culture in general. It's interesting now that we have like some key gay players.
Yeah.
Like, and also like, yeah, he's not like, you know, I think it's interesting that Santana's like, oh, I'm gay, but I will still beat the shit out of you. Okay, I'm almost done with DJ Academics. Yeah. So after that, when Santana said that, DJ Academics live streamed and got emotional over his issues with the LGBTQ plus community and having to censor his opinions on it. He literally broke out into tears as he explained how beefing with Santana was, quote, triggering his past and moving him to believe he'd get canceled and labeled a homophobe if he said the wrong thing.
The wrong thing, a slur.
Yeah, he like so like, basically it's getting like really violent. Santana's like, I'm gonna beat your ass and all this stuff. And DJ Academics is like, if I say what I really want to say, I'm gonna get canceled.
Which is just a slur. Like it's
just a slur. And everyone's like, why do you have to say a slur? Why don't you just whatever? So it went back and forth a while. And even Santana's like, you can make fun of my career, you can make fun of everything. I know my last album didn't sell well, but you're gonna resort to whatever.
Yeah.
It went so back and forth for a while that even Queen Latifah got involved.
Oh no, the queen.
The queen, she was just like calling him a bitch. Academics. Okay. And Santana's clapback. So, following DJ Academics' emotional video and Santana's clapback, social media began responding. And one of the responses was Young Miami, who the entire feud was about. Mm-hmm. And, the whole thing was like, DJ Academics is in tears. He's in tears. And my Young Miami said, I was in tears when he left and was trolling about my car getting shot up while I was 6 months pregnant. So it's like, yeah, like the tears, you turn him on.
He's in tears because he's like, I want to be homophobic so bad.
No, I don't want to get canceled.
I want to be homophobic so bad and nobody will let me.
Yeah, and fine. Yeah, exactly. So in my research, I also found that Academics likes Donald Trump and said that he will vote for Trump in 2024. I don't know if that still stands, but as of November 2023, he said he was going to vote for Trump. So what do you think? Now I'm going to turn that back to you. Do you think Academics is...
I'm not getting a hugely intellectual vibe bent from it.
Okay.
So I think that, maybe he sees himself that way. I'd have to get more of a sense for how he thinks about himself. We'll get into someone who considers themselves an academic but isn't very smart later in the episode. So, but I don't. No, I'm not getting that sense.
But now you know why he was a pinned discourse,
and now I understand why he was pinned
because
there's a lot there
in the Meek Mill thing of it all. DJ Academics was, I feel like, a little innocent in that of like...
Because he was just reading
the lawsuit and whatever. But he sucks. And also he has this problematic past and all this stuff. And
it was probably really hard for him to read that lawsuit and not be homophobic.
Well,
he was probably working really, really hard.
Well, and as we talk about critiques of hip hop culture and we talk about critiques, of the culture in general, a lot of people are saying that the hip hop community has ignored some of the bigger allegations against Diddy and focused on the gay shit. Again, it's like he's been arrested for trafficking and abuse and murder and all this stuff. But everyone's like, he fucks men. That shit's gay. And it's like,
that's like actually not the illegal part.
No, but
that's not why the feds raided his house.
This isn't the 40s. The feds didn't raid
exactly. This isn't like the Stonewall riots.
So that's DJ Academics.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna talk about another figure that we pinned now. Pivoting to the world of YouTube.
Okay.
To influencer world. We are going to talk about Ms. Trisha Paytas.
Okay.
What do you know about Trisha Paytas going in?
A lot of fake tanner.
Yes.
And a lot of fillers. Like, I feel like her lips are pretty crazy.
Yes.
And she's pretty problematic.
Yeah. Yes. And not the worst. Like,
she's not DJ Academics level.
Yeah, she's not DJ Academics level. So, all right. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So, Trisha Paytas, she's 35. So, she's, a peer. She's in the peerage. She's a YouTuber. She's a singer. She's a media personality. But really, she blew up on YouTube first. And that was what was interesting to me because for me, Trisha Paytas is like a figure that I really only started to understand. She comes into my FYP on TikTok a lot. And I feel like people were always mad at her for one thing or another for saying stupid stuff, but it never really like stuck in my brain as to what her deal was. So her YouTube channel, there's a lot of different content. It's like lifestyle stuff, but the big thing she does are mukbangs.
Oh, is that where they eat a lot of food?
Yeah, where you eat a bunch on camera.
Okay.
Pin and mukbang discourse.
I really don't need to discourse that.
On that. It's like she eats a lot on camera. That's one of her. When I watched a video that was like roundup of Trisha Paytas' like most iconic moments or like biggest Trisha Paytas moments, and it was almost all her eating stuff. It was like videos where she's eating and videos where she's crying. We're kind of the two. And then sometimes she's eating and crying also.
I mean, go off. Relatable. She's a peer.
That's the thing is like people find her. Yeah, she's a millennial queen. Eating and crying. It's what we do. People find her very relatable. She is funny. She has this kind of like unfiltered vibe that I think the thing that draws people to her is that she kind of says whatever pops into her head for better. And sometimes it's funny and sometimes it like gets her into trouble.
Yeah. She was the one who said fuck Meghan Trainor said fuck teachers.
Meghan Trainor said fuck teachers. We're going to have to pin that. We're going to have to pin the time Meghan Trainor said fuck teachers. Meghan Trainor's a whole discourse. She's either saying fuck teachers or she loves her huge Spy Kids husband's cock. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. But as we remember, she was in my Spotify Wrapped. The only person on earth who had Meghan Trainor in her Spotify Wrapped sits before you today.
You really do not have to tell people that, Elise.
I know, really but it's out there. It's out there. And
because of you.
True, but it's, the thing is, it's like, I want to get ahead of it. I want to get ahead of it for, who knows when I'll be hacked.
Yeah, okay.
Doxed, canceled.
Okay.
And I want it to already be out there.
Okay. Tell us more about Trisha Paytas.
So Trisha Paytas, like I said, she started on YouTube. She, classic story. She moves out to LA. She's a lingerie model. She worked as like a stripper and an escort. And then she starts her YouTube channel in 2007. So I would say that's like an early adopter. Yeah, early adopter of YouTube. And I thought this was very interesting. Her YouTube channel was originally dedicated to Quentin Tarantino. Because she loves Quentin Tarantino and it was just her.
Like movies or like him?
His movies, talking about him.
Did she date him? Is that
I don't
correct?
think she dated him. I
feel like he has a weird rotation. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just interesting because I'm like, it seemed like she was trying to get the attention of Quentin Tarantino. And I'm like, just put your feet out there. Just show him your foot.
But that's why I'm like, Quentin also will give somebody, he'll give a dog a bone.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know, put your feet out there and say, come over, I'll let you say the N-word. He'll be there.
He'll be there.
And he'll show up. He's a simple man. He has simple tastes.
Yeah. But you know who he used to date for a while? Shar Jackson. Kevin Federline's baby mama. The girl who was in the Moesha. Like she played one of Moesha's best friends, not the Parker one, but the other one. You've seen this girl.
No, I know who Shar Jackson is. I do know.
And like,
I did not know he dated her.
He dated her.
Wow. Okay. Well, Trisha Paytas, her YouTube channel started as a Quentin Tarantino stan YouTube, but it quickly developed into other content.
Thank God.
Lifestyle stuff. Because again, she has this kind of this unfiltered, it's a very like reality star personality where like she's going to say whatever.
Like Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. Like I don't think that she cares about being embarrassed by seeming dumb or like it's that unfiltered vibe that I think in particular in like 2007 to like early mid 2000s, people love that shit.
Yeah.
Love that shit. 2010, she appeared on My Strange Addiction as a self-admitted tanning addict.
Well,
so like you said, a lot of tanning. You're right. She was on My Strange Addiction for tanning.
But was she actually, or like, do you think she actually has a tanning addiction, or she just wanted to be on TV?
Oh God, I feel like that's a chicken and the egg.
Yeah, okay.
Like, does she have the tanning addiction because she wants to be on TV?
Or did she say like overhype it to be on TV?
Yeah, probably. It seems
but she does have a tanning like.
Yeah, it seems like the vibe I get is that she is one of those people, and we see it in a lot of like reality YouTube stars where they're like, I want to be famous.
Yeah.
It's not like the same as artists like Millie and I.
Yeah,
we're doing deep things. We want to write. We want to be actors. Yeah. This is a thing of like, I want to be famous.
Infamous, yeah.
If what gets me there is acting, great. If what gets me there is YouTube, great. If what gets me there is OnlyFans, great. So she's like, as we read this, like she's done kind of everything. So 2013 to 2017 is where she like really blows up in general. And that's where she starts to kind of develop her controversial reputation. So this is what her Wikipedia says. From 2013 to 2017, Paytas made a number of trolling videos where she told Business Insider, which she told Business Insider were a way to dumb herself down in order to get more attention and views. So that's the type of person that she is that she's willing to say shit that I think she knows is not going to do well to get, is like not going to be received well to get attention and views. So, this involved videos claiming that dogs do not have brains.
First of all, Valentino is very smart. My dog is very smart.
Yeah, I would say the same about Rusty. It's how Rusty can understand the tone of my voice when I'm leaving, and he runs to the door.
No, dogs. Okay, so
he's really she's
just clearly it's just wrong.
It's just wrong, Trisha. It's just wrong. And then she also said that she was voting for Mitt Romney.
Okay, what the fuck?
So it's like, that's literally the wide range of crazy shit that she'll say is like, dogs don't have brains. I'm voting for Mitt Romney. Like, she'll just say, like, kind of whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Especially at this time. Now, I think that she's calmed down a little bit with a lot of that stuff. I remember seeing a video specifically where she was like, I think she was apologizing to Charlie D'Amelio or one of those big TikTok girls for being really like kind of misogynistic towards her. But again, when you're dealing with a person who's like a fame chaser on this level, it's like, okay, well, now it's not popular to be mean and to say whatever you want. And like what's popular is to be thoughtful nice. And to have empathy.
But if the thing switches, she'll go right back to it.
Exactly. If mean and dumb becomes popular again, then she'll be, I imagine she'll be mean and dumb in an instant. So 2015, she released a song called Fat Chicks, which I've never heard in my life, but I don't know. It sounds Meghan Trainor-y to me.
Yeah, honestly.
I understand why you're
honestly.
I feel like
no one's more oppressed than fat white women over like fat white women will take up space. Like they love to.
I feel like Meghan Trainor is almost like a Disney Trisha Paytas in a way. She's a little cleaner.
Yeah,
and she did say fuck teachers, and we will talk
fuck teachers. But the fact that like deeply impacted her career is saying a lot.
I think that
she's not going to get played at Kohl's if she's beefing with teachers.
Yeah,
and that's the number one.
That's so true.
Like demo of where her music is being played.
Yeah, and I feel like Trisha Paytas could say fuck teachers, and it wouldn't even make a blip.
Because
maybe for a day people would say,
because she's saying dogs don't have brains and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sandwich between dogs don't have brains and I'm voting for Mitt Romney, which is so funny.
A guy who drinks milk with every meal.
I know. In 2017 she did Celebrity Big Brother, but
those are fun.
But then she left
in the UK.
I think it was the US one. I'm not sure. It says Celebrity Big Brother 20. She left the show after 11 days and then made disparaging comments about her fellow participants, including accusing them of drug use. From 2018... Listen, if I'm on Celebrity Big Brother, I'm doing drugs.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's the same thing of like, that was it Brandy saying like, Andy Cohen does coke, and I'm like...
Yeah. Andy Cohen does coke with the Housewives.
Okay, yeah. Like, I don't want to live in a country where Andy Cohen doesn't do...
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm not watching Housewives for them to not be doing coke with Andy Cohen.
Come on. That's like every fucking month somebody posts on Twitter like, wow, people really do coke. And it's like, you're going to have to figure something else out.
Yeah, you're going to have to go to a major city.
Yeah, and like, you're going to have to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, be an adult.
Yeah,
people do
up.
coke.
People do coke. Andy Cohen's doing coke. And if you're on Celebrity Big Brother, you're doing drugs.
If I ever get asked on Watch What Happens Live, even if I'm just the bartender,
the bartender,
if I'm not offered coke, I'm going to be a little...
It will be hurtful.
Yeah. And now anyone who watching, if I ever do Watch What Happens Live, you'll see me in the back like...
It's like, man, I got a startup idea. foaming at the mouth.
I think Sandoval's an alien. It's like, okay, the bartender doesn't talk. So, all right, 2018 to 2022, she did a tour, the Heartbreak Tour, to promote her music. So I guess her music career.
Gay people in the middle of America need to listen to something.
I mean, Sheena Shea has a music career, to bring it back to Vanderpump. Like I think it's kind of one of those things. And then she had this podcast from 2020 to like 2021 called Frenemies with this YouTuber Ethan Klein. And that is the thing that I think you'll often see clipped on TikTok, where like they would kind of fight sometimes. And
Ethan Klein is another pinned discourse
as well.
Really...
Yeah, so I think that was another big place where she blew up, because they would like problematic off each other.
Yeah.
2021, she gets on OnlyFans. God bless. And then
she's showing like booty hole and stuff on OnlyFans.
I didn't subscribe.
I thought you were serious about research, at least.
You know what? Let me look it up right now. Trisha Paytas booty hole.
Listen.
I feel like, given her like past and stuff, I bet she was at least getting a little sexy on there.
Go off. Yeah.
I bet she was doing a little something.
Yeah.
My personal favorite Trisha Paytas lore is that when Queen Elizabeth II died, Trisha Paytas was very close to giving birth, and people potentially thought she was actively in labor. So we all remember when Queen Elizabeth died, Twitter was a great day on Twitter. It was the jokes were popping off. People love when the royals are having medical problems on Twitter. So people are going crazy, and it started this meme that Trisha Paytas's child was the reincarnation of Queen Elizabeth.
Nice.
And so this meme became so popular that Trisha Paytas had to make a TikTok addressing the situation, which I thought was really funny, because the top text was, "Story time, I did not rebirth the Queen of England," in which she clarified that the timelines don't actually work. She gave birth to her daughter later.
What's the daughter's name?
And the daughter's name is Malibu Barbie.
The first name Malibu, middle name
Barbie. Yeah, no, it's not like Malibu Barbie first, a double first name.
No.
Malibu first name, Barbie's middle name, and then whatever her husband's name is after. So, I mean, now you can find Trisha Paytas on TikTok. She's continued her popularity into TikTok. I do think she's pulled back on like the trolling aspect, because again, I don't think it's popular now.
No, it's not popular now, but she'll go back to it.
But that's your crash course in Trisha Paytas.
Wow. I feel like I've learned, I lived, and I laughed, and I don't love.
No, you don't. You don't love. You didn't love.
But it's good. Yeah, she's not as problematic, but joking about even voting for Mitt Romney is strange. I know. So.
It is. It's just funny to think about someone like her even like conceiving of Mitt Romney. Like Mitt Romney is like he was like this buttoned up Mormon.
I know. That's why it's like, what is going on? Trump at least is like insane. I don't know. It's like,
but I guess it does speak to like, I don't know. Yeah. That Obama era time where it's like, now to say you're voting for Donald Trump, even as a troll, is like
crazy,
very serious. Like it's very serious. You like that. And it is. And I mean, she shouldn't have voted for Mitt Romney either, but it's like, I don't know. I think it speaks to where politics were at the time. You'd be like, I'm just trolling, saying I'm voting for Mitt Romney.
Well, she sounds like an idiot. So next to my pinned discourse, going to my pinned discourse. So, incredible. In one of our episodes, we talked about dating app TikTok.
Yes.
And this is pretty straightforward. You know, as dating apps become one of the number one ways young people find partners, there's a whole segment of TikTok that's just about people's experience with dating apps and obviously bad dates and all this stuff. But I think one of the most interesting aspects of dating app TikTok is that their entire TikToks dedicated to hacking these dating apps and like doing different things to try to get more matches and all this stuff. So we'll just watch a quick video of one of these things.
Okay.
If all of the people that you're seeing on Hinge are dusty and crusty, no, it's not where you live. No, there's not something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your Hinge. I'm going to show you how to fix it. This actually works, okay? This is like the only thing that works. I learned this on TikTok. I don't know who it was at this point because I did this like a few weeks ago, but shout out to whoever figured this out. Go to settings and then delete your account. But don't actually delete your account, okay? Don't delete it, but pretend like you're going to delete your account. It should prompt you to do this. I don't know if this is what it looks like because like I said, I can't do it again. I don't remember if this is like the updated screen of what it looks like, but it's something along these lines of like you're getting a fresh start. My experience with this was that I started getting a ton of likes immediately and it hasn't slowed down. Like I told you, this was weeks ago. Every time I check Hinge, I have like 10 new likes. It's crazy. And it was never like that before. Initially, a lot of the likes that I was getting when I first did this were people that had liked me and I had like passed over. Like they just weren't my type or didn't seem like good quality men. And so I just X'd them out. And so like doing this, it did like, I guess, reserve my profile to people that I had already passed up on. However, as time went on, I noticed, and I don't know if like I was pickier with like the people that I started liking back, or I maybe just because I was getting more matches, so the algorithm like favored me higher, but I started getting just like better quality men, because previously the men that I was seeing, like I live in San Diego, there's hot people everywhere you look, but that was not like, you would see like not people that were even just liking me, like people that were getting served to me to like or dislike. They weren't representative of like what I literally see when I leave my house. So I knew something was off. So once I did this, the quality of men just in every facet, much better, way better. And I know that this is not just like a me thing. I know it's because of this like Hinge reset, because like obviously I'm having these results with it. The creator who I learned this from said the same thing. And then I tested it with my friend who was also having a similar issue with Hinge. We literally did at the bar. I was like, check your phone in 10 minutes. You're going to have like 10 likes. And she did. And now she's like, we're both like overwhelmed with it. So just try it. I mean, if you're like at your wit's end with this dumbass app, what do you have to lose?
So you get the deal. So like,
yeah, because I've read different articles and stuff about how like these dating apps claim that you don't get scored on attractiveness or this and that, but actually you kind of are in a way.
I feel like this more speaks to like, that is true, but also this also speaks to the fact that the profit model for dating apps is the way that young people, you know, get matches and meet people. But the business model and the profitability of dating apps is dependent on engagement with the app and all this stuff. So sometimes the algorithm knows who a good match is for you, but they'll put them behind a paywall, or they'll do tricks to get you to incentivize you to pay or whatever. And they put them like on the other side of this thing. And there's all these different TikToks dedicated to these hacks about how to circumvent the paywall or this and that, because, yeah, like what happens is if you threaten to cancel your account, then they're like, no, stay. Here's all the people that we think we've been hiding from you because we want you to pay for it. But if you're going to leave, like, don't leave, like whatever. So it is like, this whole segment, again, like, as we've talked about, like, Facebook algorithms, TikTok algorithms, Instagram algorithms, but, like, there are algorithms and formulas on these dating app websites that are incentivizing people to never delete these apps, to never find any whatever. And that's why it was, like, a loaded, like, heavy topic. Not heavy, but, like, it was pinned because it is a whole segment of TikTok of like different tricks, and like it even gets so nuanced into like, so there's these like more like go to settings and go to this, and then there's other people where like I deleted my Hinge and just put pictures of me with straight hair and I got more matches, or I lied about this, or I put my area in this thing, or I did internet, so it's all these like hacks to fucking find love, and it's very Black Mirror-y.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what's so interesting is like when a company is in charge of your dating life, then their incentive is not for you to find love. Their incentive is for you to honestly never find love, because so that you're constantly being on the apps. And it's funny because Hinge, their whole thing is like designed the dating apps. It's meant to be deleted.
Designed to be deleted. But
and I know people who are in really great relationships off Hinge and off the apps, but I've also read a bunch about how like younger people are getting off them because they're just fucking
it's hard. It's a marathon. I've been on them for many, many years, and I've also dated a lot of people through them. It is a good way. Like now it's just the best way to find someone outside of your immediate network.
Yeah.
And it comes with its own issues and all that stuff. But like the days of like online dating being stigmatized are clearly over. But what comes with Hinge and what comes with dating apps is now you kind of have to hack the system and all this stuff. And like, it is like work,
Yeah.
It's really work, and you have to like really put yourself out there and filter and do all these things to like get a match and find the right person and all this stuff. So it is these things that like people are deleting them because it fucking can feel so demoralizing.
Yeah. And like, now that these apps have paid tiers and stuff, it's like, okay, obviously, yeah, they're gonna, if you're not doing the paid tier, then they're gonna withhold shit from you.
Yeah.
And that's antithetical to what you go into a dating app to do.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Unpinned discourse.
I know.
So I'm sure it'll come up again.
It will.
I have a short one to unpin. Movies are too long. They're too long, Millie. Looking at an IMDb sampling of films released in 2023, about 43% run longer than 2 hours. Through the decades, top grossing movie data finds that a 19-minute average runtime increase in the past 11 years. This is due to a couple of different things, especially now people think that like making a really long movie is going to bring people to the theaters more, which I push back on that personally. Mm-hmm. That's not what brings me to a theater. I have ADHD. I have to pee. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Anyway. And a lot. And then also the move to streaming. Some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter that it's 3 hours because it's going to go on streaming. So I will say I hate that movies are so long. I've struggled with this year's Oscar movies, and I watched all of them. We did our Oscars show this year.
Yeah.
I had to watch Oppenheimer over 2 days.
Yeah, it took me like 2 or 3 days to watch Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and I had to take breaks during Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yep.
And my thing is, it's like, I think these like big directors like a Christopher Nolan or a Martin Scorsese, I think that they think that they're giving you something that you want with a 3 hour movie. I mean, Marty's been doing the 3 hour movie for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's Marty's in his thing. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But Christopher Nolan is someone who clearly like wanted you to experience the magic of his movie in theaters and IMAX and all of that stuff. And it's like, yeah, but actually by making it 3 hours, it made it so that I watched it over 2 days in my house, because I was like, I'm not going to go sit through Oppenheimer for 3 hours in the theater. I'm not going to do that.
It also like is very notable that Christopher Nolan does not have a cell phone, and he doesn't have a smartphone, and he like is super whatever. I hear two sides where it's like, if you really love movies, like you'll understand the art of them and whatever. And I think some movies like, okay, like Killers of the Flower Moon was a little like, I have grace for that because one, Marty's been doing it, and two, I'm like, they did get into like the nitty gritty. Like, I feel like if they just did,
story.
It was a complicated story, and they did share a lot of details, like about the murders and all the murders, that if it was just an hour and a half, they probably wouldn't have like been able to share the scale of which like these indigenous people are getting murdered. But with Oppenheimer, I'm like, this could have been like, the thing is like some directors too, it's about like not being able to edit or like, it's editing is part of the art, and like keeping what's essential and stuff. Like, I don't know, like,
yeah, it is a thing of like, I do think some of these directors get so big in their own brains that they don't want to compromise on their vision at all in any way. So now it's like, okay, the movie's 3 hours long. Did it really need to be 3 hours long? My other thing is like, if you're going to make the movie 3 hours long, put an intermission in that bitch.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when to pee.
Yeah.
I want to get food. I want to get up, and I don't know when's a good time. And then I have to shovel past everybody. And it's not like.
Well, now their movie tickets are fucking $20, $25. It's basically a play, and plays have intermission.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, if you're going to make this the length of a Broadway play, you got to let me get up in the middle and get another drink and a snack and get up to pee. Even like old movies, I feel like Gone with the Wind and shit, there's like an intermission in the middle. Yeah. Mike, our producer today, is nodding. Yes, there is an intermission. Yeah. He's watching Gone with the Wind. Lawrence of Arabia. Yeah, it's like these old movies, because movies used to be super long.
Yeah.
They had an intermission. So we need to bring, that's my take, is like, we need to bring back the intermission if this is what we're doing.
Also, like, sometimes there are movies that are like, okay, fine. Like, Oscar-nominated Best Picture movies are 3 hours long, like, sure, like already we're having problems with that, but sure. But I feel like that has trickled down to like some fucking shitty movies or like rom-coms. I'm like, why is this rom-com 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Why is this like even a 2-hour movie? I'm like, you're really like, what are we doing, dog?
You know what movie? And I really like this series, but it really pushed it with me, was the second Into the Spider-Verse. Was really long to me. And I like those movies. I think those movies
it on a plane.
Fucking cool. So on a plane, then I appreciate the movie being
the movie 2.5 hours.
Well, can this movie be 6 hours long? Yeah. But the second Into the Spider-Verse, I really struggled. I felt like it took them a really long time to get to the Spider-Verse. And I'm like, oh my God, we're just getting to the Spider-Verse? Now we're coming back. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And I like those movies, and I will always be 10 toes down for Miles Morales.
Yeah.
My cousin.
Yeah, your cousin.
My cousin
your
Miles.
Your Puerto Rican cousin.
My Puerto Rican cousin Miles. I will always have his back. I just think that second movie was really fucking long.
Well, put a pin in that.
Put a pin in my cousin Miles.
So, speaking of cousins, I'm kidding. No, this guy is not related to you. Speaking on toxic misogyny.
Wow.
Another subject we said we were going to put a pin on is Andrew Tate.
Ooh.
So I'm going to do a trigger warning for depictions of violence against women and grooming and rape. So awesome.
Cool.
Born Emery Andrew Tate III.
Of course,
he's an American British social media personality, businessman, and professional kickboxer. He's also been dubbed the king of toxic masculinity.
Awesome.
And identified as part of the manosphere. So I think I forgot when we mentioned Andrew Tate, but there's a reason why we're like, we got to put a pin in that. So let's get into what the manosphere is, which is a diverse collection of websites, blogs, and online forums promoting masculinity, misogyny, and opposition to feminism.
Awesome.
Communities within the manosphere include men's rights activists, incels, which are involuntary celibates, men going their own way, which I don't know what that is, but well, whatever. Pickup artists.
Just history. Men going their own way. Just the world.
And fathers' rights groups. While the specifics of each group's beliefs sometimes conflict, they're all generally united in the belief that society is biased against men due to the influence of feminism, and that feminists promote misandry and hatred of men. Acceptance of these ideas is described as taking the red pill, a metaphor borrowed from the film The Matrix. Mm-hmm. So the manosphere overlaps with the far right and alt-right communities, which we will talk about later with Unpinned Discourse, but it has also been associated with online harassment and has been implicated in radicalizing men into misogynist beliefs and the glorification of violence against women. So let's get into Andrew Tate. His controversial commentary has resulted in expulsions from various social media platforms and concern that he is encouraging misogynistic views amongst young males, which is his target demographic.
Great.
As of December 2023, he's like, and this was after he's gotten kicked off. So he's been on and off getting kicked off of X, which we'll call it, when it's about misogyny, we'll call it X.
Yeah, it's X when it's this.
When it's talking about us, it's Twitter. So he had over 8.5 million followers and was the third most Googled person in 2023, which I don't even know if that's something to brag about. Tate first began to kickbox in 2005, winning several kickboxing titles in late 2000s and early 2010s. In 2016, he appeared on the British reality series Big Brother, but was removed. He was removed as he was a suspect in an open rape investigation in the UK.
Out of the Big Brother
and that'll get you kicked out of the...
Get you kicked right out.
After his kickboxing career, Tate and his brother began operating a webcam model business, followed by selling online courses. With his audience from his courses, he became prominent as an internet celebrity promoting a masculine, luxurious lifestyle. Tate's courses include Hustlers University, which gained 100,000 subscribers and later branded to the real world, and The Secretive War Room, which was accused by the BBC of coercing women into sex work and teaching violence against women. So again, in the war room, there's an article about like what's going on in the war room. So the war room, if you want like that exclusive membership, it costed $8,000 a year. And it's, quote, a network of powerful men and those who want to learn from them. And the war room promotes self-discipline, motivation, and confidence building whilst giving members access to thousands of professionals around the world who encourage personal responsibility and accountability and emphasizing the importance of taking ownership for your choices and your actions. Like, that's like what the website says.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what the website actually
I know,
did.
because I'm like, $8,000 a year just to talk shit about women. Like, you could do that in any bar for free.
Well,
like, what?
Or like to get in the exclusive thing. So, but what actually happened in those chats is that the War Room teaches members through its so-called PhD course, the initials stand for Pimping Hoes Degree, how to groom women into sex work. So members are instructed by some of the war room leadership, known as generals, to romantically seduce, emotionally manipulate, and socially isolate women before luring them into performing on webcams, often taking all or most of the money those women make for themselves. That is his business. That is the business model. That is what he's fucking made. In August 2023, it was estimated that Tate's online ventures generated $5 million in revenue per month. He was also described as a right-wing and far-right influencer and has described himself as, quote, absolutely misogynist and sexist.
At least he's, you know what? At least he's not one of these people who's like, I'm not sexist.
No, he's like,
no, I am, and I'm a criminal.
Well, in December 2022, Tate and his brother Tristan were arrested in Romania along with 2 women. All 4 were charged in June 2023 with rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. Tate and his fellow defendants are accused of luring at least 7 women to his properties in Romania in a conspiracy that began in 2021 with what the country's investigation of organized crime dubs a lover boy ploy, which again is making false promises of an exclusive romantic relationship to gain control over another person.
Yeah, and I feel like that is such an important thing to talk about because, and this, we can put a pin in this, but I feel like there's the way that trafficking is presented on TikTok is like,
oh, you're going to be in a parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone's going to, if you go to your car door and there's a napkin on your car door, like don't touch it because there's poison on the napkin and you're going to be trafficked.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, the way it actually happens.
They find vulnerable people.
They find vulnerable people,
women.
Love bomb them.
Yeah.
Make
isolate
that girl think that they're their boyfriend.
Yep.
Coerce. I remember I was like watching a TikTok by a girl who was like, she was super young. She was like a teenager. The guy was like 25, 26.
Yep.
He's buying her a bunch of stuff, isolates her from her family. Then he's like, I've been giving you all this stuff, but I actually need a little bit more money. What if we did this?
Yeah, what if you sleep with one of my friends?
Yeah,
what if you do this stuff on camera?
Exactly. And then slowly gets you into this
and
world
traps you in
gets coerced sex work, which is
exactly, that's the playbook that made 10.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
10 minutes? Oh, shit. Okay. That's the playbook that made Andrew Tate his literal millions. Two of the accusers, so basically, he gets arrested. He actually moved to Romania to escape charges, and because they're really big on sex trafficking there, and also whatever. So he just gets arrested. They get accused. I don't know if they're found guilty yet, but they fucking filed the defamation lawsuit against one of the accusers. Two of them had to go into hiding because they're whatever, being harassed by Tate's thing, and British police issued an arrest warrant in March 2024, and a Romanian court authorized extradition after the conclusion of the Romanian investigation. Tate and his brother denied all the charges, but
I feel confident about the charges.
Yeah, no, me too. I think that's the pinned discourse is that if you're just because the algorithms are so siphoned, if you're not paying attention, you would just think oh, Andrew Tate, whatever. But
he's just this masculine guy dating expert. And it's no, he's literally a human trafficker.
Yeah. So, and also he has just he made his money telling people how to coerce people. So,
well,
that discourse has been unpinned.
Discourse unpinned. And now we are going to unpin kind of a similar figure, I feel. We're going to do a quick and dirty course on Jordan fucking Peterson.
Oh, Lord.
Lord help us. So Jordan Peterson, he is a Canadian psychologist, media commentator guy. He does have a PhD. It is not a pimping hose degree. It's a real degree. It's a real PhD from McGill University, which is one of Canada's
most
top
prestigious.
And that's so the biggest point I want to make about Jordan Peterson in this unpin is that he started out as kind of a normal intellectual guy.
Mm-hmm.
His research specifically was on personality traits, and he would talk about archetypes and types of people. He has this really famous book that he released in 1999 called Maps of Meaning, The Architecture of Belief, where he talks about how people construct meaning and narratives and stories that have existed throughout all time. It's he had a legitimate field of study that he started in that I think is a reason why a lot of people didn't realize that he had made the shift into being kind of a Ben Shapiro type conservative anti-trans blowhard guy. I even remember one time seeing on Facebook years ago, someone was talking about Jordan Peterson and another comedian wrote in and they were oh my God, I loved this guy's book. I had no idea.
There's a few comedians who like Jordan Peterson.
And we will bring that up at the end of all of this.
Yeah.
My personal connection to Jordan Peterson. But to get into it, so he has this very famous book, Maps of Meaning. It's a really popular book. They did whatever Canada's version of the BBC is, did a series on it. It's about social conflict, belief systems, etc. He's very much a like Jungian philosopher where he talks about like where stories come from and archetypes of people and how you can be a better person using stories, whatever. That's where he started. The iteration of him that exists now began in 2016 when he released a 3-part YouTube series called Professor Against Political Correctness, yawn, where he was basically railing against Canada had this act to amend it was the act to amend the Canadian Human Rights Act and Criminal Code that was passed by Parliament to introduce gender identity and expression as a prohibited grounds for discrimination. So basically saying like you can't discriminate against trans people. And he rose to prominence being like, I will not, you can't coerce me into speaking a certain way. That was his big thing, was that he was like, you can't tell me how to speak.
Yeah.
Like you can't force me to use someone's pronouns or to call someone by the name that they want to be called. And he comes at it from this weird fake intellectual way.
He uses big words to try to sound smart, but he's an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. So the way he talks, it's very Ben Shapiro-y in that it's like couched in this like intellectualism, but actually it's fucking stupid. He very famously debated this guy Slavoj Žižek, who's like a left lean, like a philosopher on the left, and just got absolutely wrecked by this dude because he was someone who could like meet him on the rhetorical level. Because again, it's all just like rhetoric games.
Yeah, because if you challenge him, he'll just play rhetoric.
Yeah,
games.
exactly. And he'll just be like, well, actually, that's intellectually dishonest because in the
he sounds like Kermit the Frog too.
Yeah, he has he also has the thickest Canadian accent, and it does kind of make things really funny.
Yeah.
So ever since then, he's just kind of become this conservative blowhard guy, and he's very popular with Daily Wire shit. He goes viral all the time for like who was that model
the chubby one on
there was
Sports
a plus size model on Sports Illustrated, and he's like, so I'm supposed to be attracted to her? I'm not. And it's like, okay. You actually don't have to be actually you're not.
And he's like, this is disgusting that they're doing this, and it's ruining everything.
He's so incensed by like fat women existing, being happy, etc. He's super
him and everyone else.
He was kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah, because
in 2022 for misgendering and dead naming Elliot Page. Cool. And then, of course, was reinstated to X because it is, of course, when Jordan Peterson's posting, it is X. Yeah. So Elon reinstated him to X. He went into a coma. He had like a major health situation for being addicted to benzos.
He was addicted to benzos and only ate meat and didn't eat vegetables or carbs. And you can listen to that whole thing on Maintenance Phase. Does like a 4-part podcast about how Jordan Peterson almost died.
Yeah, but the TLDR is that he was eating only benzos and meat.
Yeah.
And so he got very sick.
And almost like raw meat too or something.
Which is also funny to be like, this is an unhealthy, like look at like a literal Sports Illustrated model who probably like works out every fucking day, or like, like Lizzo's vegan and shit. And they'd be like, this person's unhealthy. And it's like, you eat only benzos and raw meat. So we'll leave Jordan Peterson there, but I will say that I did have my worst ex-boyfriend of all time. One time my friends ran into him on the train, and he was with the woman that is now his wife, and they were like, oh, what are you guys up to? And she was like, we're going to see Jordan Peterson. And they could tell that he was trying to get her not to say it because they knew that he knew that they would tell me and that I would tell everyone. And I did tell everyone, and I'm telling everyone again now.
Yeah. Well, again, Elise loves publicizing her else.
I have to get ahead of them.
Yes.
I have to get ahead of them before the expose is written.
The expose. Okay. Well, this will be quick, but
two more quick ones.
And one of the topics that we brought up was the sprinkle of it all quote. And I wanted to unpin that and talk about it. So sprinkle is a catchphrase from online creator Shira7, whose real name is Letitia Padua. She has 7,013 713,000 followers on
Sometimes
Instagram.
The number is hard.
And 628,000 followers on YouTube. But she recently gained notoriety through her TikToks, which go insanely viral. So before she would just live stream on YouTube, people would see them. Somebody was clipping her shit, put it on TikTok, and now she has 1.3 million followers on TikTok. So she says, like, she gives a lot of dating advice, but she calls herself a financial advisor. And it's because the crux of most of her advice is how to exploit the male ego for money. She offers women lesson on the art of leveling up. And in the years since she accumulated in the years since she started her YouTube channel in November 2011, she has made videos called How to Get Your Man to Give You Money, How to Make Him Jealous, How to Let Your Man Cheat. And we'll just watch a quick, video. Sprinkle clip so that you guys can get the sense of Cheer 7.
How do you ask a man for money without feeling that? Like this. Do you want to make me happy right now? Yeah, of course I do. I want to make you happy too. But later on. Well, what do you want? Then whisper in his ear like this. I want you to take me to the ATM and give me as much money as you choose. It's kind of a kink. I just want to see what you're going to give. It's like, okay, let's go. Then you're going to say, no, never mind. You're going to tease them a little bit. You're going to say, never mind. How about the next time we see each other, you just bring it to me? He already know he gonna seduce you because you just whispered in his ear, and you know what that do.
I wouldn't call her the female Andrew Tate because she's not a criminal who's trafficking people, but it is this kind of answer to that where it's like, okay, you want me to be like a sex object or whatever, then you have to actually be the provider fucking man thing that you say that you're going to be. It's almost like
it's toxic femininity is what it's been labeled. And it's just an interesting, I wanted to share this after we talked about all these toxic masculine because and it's like kind of a joke, kind of not. I mean, I find it as a joke and it's really funny.
And her catchphrase is sprinkle, sprinkle.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, which is like, she'll be like, sprinkle, sprinkle. Like, she'll give some crazy advice and be like, sprinkle, sprinkle. Another one is like, her responding to comments like, women need to be humbled. And she's like, nothing humbles me more than a man paying all my bills. And that's what will humble me so much. And it's just like, like throwing things back at them. So I don't know. I think it's really funny. You could do a deep dive on her.
It's like bad bitch trad wife almost in a way of like, where it's like the trad wives are very like, I'm going to make all this stuff and shit. But their ethos is kind of the same. I want a man to pay for my life mentality. And she's like, this is how you get him to do that.
Exactly. So she's a controversial figure if you're humorless.
Our final discourse. Do we have more?
We have two more.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay, I have one more and then you have one more. I have one. We each have one more.
Okay, I will do my final one.
Okay.
This one's really short.
Okay.
Being discovered on YouTube.
Okay.
So a lot of people have been discovered on YouTube, names that we know. Justin Bieber, I feel like, is the prince of being discovered on YouTube. He was discovered on YouTube in 2008 by
Usher.
No.
Oh.
Scooter Braun, who introduced him to Usher.
Wow.
That shocked me.
Wow.
That shook me to my core.
Wow.
He was introduced to Usher by Scooter Braun, who saw him on YouTube. And now I'm trying to pull up this article on my fucking docs. I just was going to go through quickly the list of people who've been discovered famous people who have been discovered on YouTube that you may not realize. This one I don't agree with. It says Ariana Grande, but Ariana Grande was already on Victorious, but they say that the CEO of Republic Records saw her singing on YouTube, and that's how she got her music career. But I'm like, but they sang on Victorious. So I don't agree with that one, BuzzFeed. Number 2, Shawn Mendes. Shawn Mendes got famous on Vine, but he started on YouTube. Okay. So he moved from YouTube to Vine. That's how we got Shawn Mendes. Dua Lipa started out posting covers on YouTube at the age of 14. Bo Burnham, that I remember. Bo Burnham was very popular doing musical comedy on YouTube. That I actually remember because I was like, who is he? He's cute. He's so cute and funny. Oh,
to be a mid-tall white man.
He is so cute and funny. Anyway, Tori Kelly, I don't know who that is, but she began writing music at 15, posting it on MySpace, got famous on YouTube, discovered by Scooter Braun as well. So Scooter Braun is trolling YouTube.
Yeah.
Alessia Cara started posting covers on YouTube. Darren Criss, this one's near and dear to my heart. He became famous because of a Harry Potter musical, which was a huge fucking thing on YouTube. It was huge. I could perform it for you right now, but we don't have the time. We don't have the time. Maybe one of our other special episodes will just be me performing all of the Harry Potter musical. I will
sit that one out, but...
No, Millie, you have to watch. You have to be the audience. But yes, Darren Criss was discovered on YouTube in the sense that a Harry Potter musical was a huge fucking deal on YouTube. Dylan O'Brien from Teen Wolf discovered on YouTube. Kate Upton.
So it seems like if you're white on YouTube, you will succeed.
You will succeed. If you're white on YouTube and Scooter Braun sees your video,
that's a wrap.
There you go. There you go.
That's a wrap.
Kate Upton discovered on YouTube because of a clip of her doing the Dougie at a sports game.
Disgusting. I do not want to see that.
Christina Grimmie from The Voice got her start posting covers on YouTube.
But if you have to go on The Voice.
Yeah. I'm like, no, she got her start on The Voice.
Yeah.
Lily Singh, YouTube. Okay. Soulja Boy, YouTube. Started posting videos just 3 months after the start of YouTube. And he gained fans, started to perform at events. Then he posted a snippet of Crank That Soulja Boy, including the dance, which became a viral hit.
Yeah.
So it started on YouTube. Chloe and Halle Bailey, though that one I'm like, but Beyonce, did Beyonce find them?
I think Beyonce found them through YouTube. Yeah.
Beyonce found them through YouTube. So that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's Scooter Braun finding Justin Bieber, giving them an Usher level. Megan Thee Stallion's freestyles started going viral on YouTube. 5 Seconds to Summer. Niall of One Direction, the band, discovered the pop group on YouTube and decided to invite them. Okay, so they're like another band, I guess. Some of these people I don't know. Charlie Puth, YouTube. Ed Sheeran, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Mahone. Never heard of him in my life, but apparently he became famous through YouTube. So that's getting discovered on YouTube. It's a way. It's a way to be discovered.
And the whole reason YouTube exists is because someone wanted footage of Janet Jackson's titty from the... And then
the whole reason Google Images exists is because people wanted to see J-Lo's green dress.
And there we go. It all goes back to being horny.
Yeah, horniness has created many innovations.
Finally. The last pinned discourse is pretty controversial. There's a lot of takes, but the topic is posting kids on social media.
Oof.
It's pretty divided. Author Nora McGurney posted a segment of the book called Bad Vibes Only in Time magazine, where she compared posting her kids online to a modern baby book. And she said she used to put her kid on social all the time, and it'd be cute kids of her kid and her husband. And her husband ended up battling cancer and eventually died. And they would like do little tricks and pranks with the baby and like post really cute pictures of them. And like, it was like kind of memorialized forever on Facebook. Well, what had happened is they used her son's image on a BuzzFeed branded content listicle with Nissan titled 10 Pranks All Dads Need to Try Once. And the quote says, drool dripping from his tiny mouth with a set of messy eyebrows penciled on his face. It was in fact not his father who had pranked him, but me during an afternoon with my sister while Aaron was in bed sleeping off the side effects of his chemo. Now, I share this anecdote because it's a good example of why people are weary of showing their kids online. The photos can be taken out of context and reused and still be legally okay because they belong to the site. There's also another phenomenon of men and people who follow profiles of little boys and little girls in like a pedophile context.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other argument. Then there's a whole other argument about people who use their kids as influencers and they have them work these insane shifts and stuff online, and it doesn't even have the same protections as television does.
Yeah.
And if you watch Quiet on Set,
I know, it's like we actually don't. Yeah. Kids shouldn't be actors. I'm completely convinced.
Quiet on Set, like TV does have protections for kids, and it's still not enough to protect. It doesn't guard kids of harm or bad psychological effects or anything, even in the best case issues. So when you become a slave to the algorithm, you have to produce content at a rate in which it's a full-time job, which is not conducive to living a normal childhood. And in the most recent example, we can talk about Ruby Frankie, who, Frankie in 2015 created a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers, in which she documented her life with her family in Utah and her husband and their 6 children. And they would post 5 days a week at 6 o'clock in the morning. And as of June 2020, the channel had 2.5 million subscribers and amassed 1 billion views. On August 20th, 2023, Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt were arrested in Washington County, Utah, and charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse of 2 of Frankie's children under Utah law. And she pled guilty, and she was sentenced to serve between 4 and 30 years in prison. So it's just, again, posting kids on social, very, very sensitive. A lot of people don't do it. There's, again, troll comments. There's all this stuff. But that's why you pinned it, because it's like a really sensitive, testy subject of like whether you should post your kids on social or not.
Yeah, my personal feeling, the place where I have come down on this as of right now is I think especially if you're like a public person, I will probably post a photo of my baby in the context of like a family photo. I think that stuff that you would like reasonably back in the day have included in like, people used to send like end of year, like a Christmas card.
A Christmas card.
Like something that you reasonably maybe would have had up in your home, maybe would have sent to family members. Like, oh, this is them on the first day of school, whatever. Like the occasional photo of milestone moments, I don't think that's problematic. I don't think that's irresponsible or creating too big of a digital footprint for your kid. Is there a chance that nefarious actors could use that photo?
Yeah, but they'll use it for anything.
Yeah, but at a certain point, it's like they could then take that type of person could like take a photo of your kid when they're out in public. Like there's whatever. But people who create social media pages for their kids, who use their kids for content, when their kid grows up, there's going to be thousands of photos of them online. Yeah. That type of shit is very creepy and weird to me. And to bring up Vanderpump Rules again, but Sheena Shea on Vanderpump Rules has an account for her like 3-year-old. It's got hundreds of thousands of followers. Creepy. And I've in the like people have analyzed these accounts and like there's like a bunch of fucking grown men that follow these accounts. And it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. And I feel like there should be protections for children online. I don't think that it should be like you can't post a picture of a child online. I think that's a little much. But I do think that it's like, you can't turn a kid into a content creator.
Well, can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Can't turn a kid to a... I agree. I think that... And I would say like, sometimes kids do funny things and you record it and you post it on TikTok or you post it online. That's different.
Yeah.
So again, it's case by case, but I do feel like some people's families and some people like want to see the pictures of the kids.
Yeah.
I understand having a separate account of like, I have a separate account for my dog. Yeah. That's like, I'm not going to be fucking posting my dog all the time, but my dog's cute as fuck and I do want people to see it.
I'd maybe create like a private account.
A private account for your kids.
There's also, like one of my friends has a baby and they have this thing called Tiny Beans.
Yeah,
where, like,
there's a bunch of shit.
I get photos of the baby emailed to me.
Yeah, that's great. So there's other options. You don't have to post it online.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
We have unpinned that discourse. We did it.
We did it. 10 discourses down.
Wow.
We also pinned another 10 during the conversation.
Yep.
Guys, this has been a very special episode of Go Touch Grass, which is the name of our podcast. We want to thank you all for getting us on the road to 100. For your support
so much. Thank you to Slickback Studios.
Yes, we are here at Slickback Studios. It has been so wonderful to be here. And until next time,
Go Touch Grass.